Oh, we are live and back with the Marketing Qualified Rundown. Happy Friday, day after Halloween. A little sugar hangover, but we're still here. I
I
am
stole
Mr.
this one from
Happy.
my son.
Yeah. We have Miss Swedish Fish with Swedish Fish.
With Swedish Fish today, yes.
Hey, all right. All right. Well, we're buzzing from our sugar high, but we are going to knock out two good topics today. One, should you have a referral program? We can even tie this back to Halloween because, are you going to go to the same house next year or refer somebody to a house for Halloween? Okay. And then we're going to talk about the biggest enemy in B2B marketing, which is sometimes ourselves.
Yeah.
So those are the two topics.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So the biggest question, it's all about happiness, but should you build a referral program? I mean, that's a question to ask yourself if you run any business.
Yeah, and I think the number one thing there is pretty straightforward. Are people happy enough to refer? Like, are you actually doing a good job or not? You might consider it good, but your customers, are they seeing what you're doing as a good job? Do you have a relationship? Do they appreciate you? They love the outcome of everything that you're doing? Then, yeah.
Yeah, and I think if you take it a step further from happy, like it's advocacy, right? I mean, you can measure that from NPS. You can talk to them. I know, obviously, we do. Send out emails to people asking them questions. I think at the end of the day, like you have to be happy and be willing to be an advocate for them, right? So definitely number one.
Yeah, and don't assume people are happy with you. Like you
That's
actually,
what assuming means.
I mean, ask them. Make sure that you really know. And if the answer is yes, move on. If the answer is no, then don't do a program.
Don't do it. All right, number two thing to ask yourself before you do a referral program is the long-term value of your customers high enough to justify the expense? So obviously, when you do a referral program, it typically involves cash and some kind of expense, whether it be time, money, or anything else. So is that long-term value of that customer? So obviously, if the customer gives you $5 a month, maybe not good for a referral program, right? You got to think about the investment, right?
Yeah.
What's the true investment, and is it something that's going to pay off from an ROI perspective? So that's number two. What's number three?
Which kind of ties into number three of like what kind of rewards would appeal to your audience. Like, yeah, you need to kind of establish number two first, but what can you really put in as far as money or time? And there are many different ways that you can take this route. People are probably used to seeing like gift cards of like very clear financial value, but you can also offer your time, like consulting hours. Maybe you can even do like, you can create content if that's something that's on your books as far as services that you offer. So that could be another thing.
Yeah, I think even getting access to things that maybe they couldn't get to, whether it be consulting, content, events, things like that. I think we have to really think about, don't go into this assuming, which we've seen a lot of this, like, oh, well, I'm just going to give you a $5 Starbucks gift card. It's not going to work.
No,
it's not going to work. So that's not, from a referral perspective. One, I don't think $5 would even get me a latte at Starbucks anymore. But
no, I think you need $5.50 for that.
I know, at least, yeah. So I mean, think about what are the rewards that are really going to work for your audience, specifically in the B2B space. So, all right, that's number three. What's number four?
Can you make it simple enough? God, I hate it when they complicate things. Like you need, if you put up a referral program so it's easy for you, like you need the entire portal, they need to fill out a form, they need to go through all these steps to even get to that point and create an account. I'm out. Like I'm out. I'll give you a referral if I can just like, here's an intro email. Boom, done.
Yeah, I feel like the simple litmus test for this is if I have to click more than 3 times, I'm done. Or even 2 times, honestly. Like if I'm making it too hard, it's just not worth it, especially in the B2B space, right? I just don't have time. And yeah.
That kind of makes me think about, surveys when they also give you like some reward, like a 10% coupon. But then when you start clicking through, it's like 30 questions. Like, I don't have time for this. Just make it one.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard. Well, or even, I mean, like help take the burden off the person you want the referral from.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
like even, yeah, it's just make it easy. I think that's the key to number 4. Make it easy.
Make it easy. But those are the 4 things. But at the end, I think referral programs, like word of mouth marketing, is probably it's always going to be the strongest marketing you can ever have, ever. So if you have this kind of foundation, I would recommend anyone to actually invest some time in building a program.
Yeah, I mean, I think we arguably have our best customers that we've received from referrals from our current customers, and and we love them. Like it's like those are the best people because they have the same values, same focus, same everything. So like it's a great way. Referral programs are great. You just got to think about doing them the right way. So,
Yep.
All right. So the other topic, oh man.
I'm always laughing about this because it's never ending. It's all this goddamn fluff in marketing.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially on the B2B side, right? Like it's fluffy. We use acronyms, we use a lot of fluffy words. We don't get to the point. We just sometimes it's just a lot of bullshit that does not make any sense to anybody unless you're in the industry. And I think it's always a good litmus test to say, like, okay, would somebody not in the industry actually understand this ad or this message? Like,
Yeah. I love this example that we actually shared in the newsletter. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about. I kind of do this test sometimes when I write something. I will show it to my husband because he's not in marketing. He's an engineer, and he's like, "What is this?" It's always a good test if he can understand it. But yeah, I mean, obviously here you're on the left side, they're missing out the entire thing. There's no category, there's no features, like nothing. Who knew? But like, who knows what that is for?
Right. And I mean, some of the other, which was in the newsletter, some of the other headline or taglines from, headlines from some of these big companies like Salesforce, grow faster on Salesforce, or Accenture, 360-degree value. I mean, or HubSpot, grow better with HubSpot. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
HubSpot get away with it now because they're so big, so people just know HubSpot. But it's still like HubSpot of all the companies should have no fluff.
Right.
They should know.
They should know better. So I think the key thing is when you're thinking about your product, you're thinking about what you're doing. And hey, we've fallen into this trap too sometimes. Like you have to zoom back, highlight, what product category are you in? What's the actual freaking benefit of what you're doing? Who are you talking to? And give them some freaking real life use cases. Like, don't just talk about an acronym. Truly say, like, this is the use case. I saved 20% of time. I reduced this much money. I got back a week of my life because I had this. Like, be specific and just ditch the fluff. I think that's the key.
Ditch the fluff.
Ditch the fluff. So.
We should do more on that. We should actually put some more examples together to make people. I think sometimes it's hard to understand what that really means.
Yeah, and I think the other, I mean, we could talk for hours on this, but I think the challenge with a lot of big companies, especially in our space, is that they're so focused on the brand, which is key, that it's hard to do something different. It's hard to get away from the fluff because I feel like the fluff is part of the brand.
Mm-hmm.
So, and to be fair, I mean, obviously companies like Salesforce, HubSpot, IBM, et cetera, Accenture, like they have great brands and they've been around for a long time and they're consistent. I think the challenge is though, as you try to broaden out, and if you look at other companies, other smaller B2B companies that don't have as much money, you have to be able to, you can't do that. Like you can do that when you can spend multi-million dollars in your marketing budget. You can't do that when you have a $20,000 marketing budget or $50,000 marketing budget for the year. So
good point. You can't afford it. Okay. Final piece for today. Boom.
This has so many. I mean, obviously, Halloween was yesterday, but I mean, the marketing the ghost. I saw this. I'm like, okay, well, you get ghosted on the marketing qualified lead. It's also a ghost. It's hard to find. Like Yeah, it's
this also reminded me, or is it Kenzie from our team yesterday that or was it you that shared this post that someone someone's dressing up as a ghost, told their manager that I'll be a ghost tomorrow. You won't see me, you won't hear me, or they won't be there. I thought that was brilliant. I might be a ghost next year. Or
all right, I think that's it, right?
That is it. That's it. If you're not subscribed, marketingqualified.co. And as always, we also released a new issue of Partner Science today. You should definitely go check that one out. Partnerscience.tech.
All right, check them out. Enjoy the content. And again, guys, if you have questions, reach out. Come talk to us. Comment on this. Go to our website. Miss Swedish Fish and I are always here to chat.
I feel like I should have an email that says missswedishfish@realaccess.com.
That would be good. I think we can do that.
I'll get that. And if you have any questions ever on anything I'm talking about, you should email us.
All right. See you next week.
Sounds good.